exhibiting everything. And this looks like basically grilled cheeses, but like gourmet grilled cheeses.
Yeah.
And there was like there was more to it.
But I was more leaning towards signage anyway, but I like Camilla so much and I thought it was like such a good model. But I was able to see the...
Thank you. We are Wellesley Town...
And the most profitable one is the one right down here. Well, it's like
Try that again. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We are the Wellesley Town Band. We're here to play some nice music.
All like online ordering.
Next piece is called Instant Concert. It features quite a bit of familiar tunes. We hope you recognize a few of them.
But I was more interested in signs, but I definitely was talking to them. Got pretty far along. Right now I'm working like way more hours.
Up next is Shenandoah by Frank DeKelly. This is his setting. I'm going to stand over here so it doesn't feedback too much. Awesome. Thank you. Next piece will be Shenandoah by Frank DeKelly. He's in this setting. It's an American folk tune that talks about the Shenandoah River Valley. Thank you. Up next is a favorite circus march that was actually written for the Barnum and Bailey Circus by a euphonium player in the band, Carl King. So please enjoy the aptly named Barnum and Bailey's favorite. Thank you. We are next going to change things up a little bit and play some more popular tunes, starting with some famous jazz standards by Duke Ellington. These songs that you'll hear include Take the A Train, Don't Get Around Much Anymore, Mood Indigo, Caravan, and It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing.
There or open it up so that there's maybe a more No, I'm just thinking like I don't want to
If we can get your attention here at the stage, we'd like to make a formal introduction of the folks who've been with us now for over 20 years, playing rock and roll music, the old kind. One player I know is from Waltham High School, the senior member of the group, Mike Joyal. And we have 4 newer members that I've only met the last couple of years, because I used to work with Dom and the other folks. So what I'd like to do is to introduce to you, Jack, you raise your hand, Jack, and Jack, it's Jack, and then we have John, and then we have Tom, and here's the old timer, Mike Joyal. I mentioned Jack. Jack's a Frenchman in the group, right? Okay. What we want to do is to introduce the Reminiscents to play for us all night. Give them a big hand to welcome them in. Thank you all. Thank you, Mike. Great to see you again. Take care.
All right. As he mentioned, we call the Reminiscents. If you haven't seen this before, we do music from the 50s, the 60s. We do some country music. And anything you want to hear during the course of the night, you just let us know. We'll be happy to do it. We're going to start out with an instrumental, just kind of warm up a little bit. This was a great, great song done back in the 60s by the Ventures, called Walk, Don't Run. Everybody ready? Yeah. Sung by the Benches. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right, we'll take it back with the gentleman, and we're going to feature my buddy, Mr. Jock. He's going to sing a great, great song. It's called I Hear You Knocking, But You Can't Come In. All right, listen, if you're not dancing, I want you to put those hands together. Help us out. Here we go.
left me long time ago, and now you come back knocking on my door. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. I hear you knocking, go back where you've been. I beg you not to go, but you said goodbye, and now you come back telling all those lies. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. I hear you knocking, go back where you've been. To go, but you said goodbye. But now you come back telling all those lies. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. I hear you knocking, go back where you've been. If you hadn't listened to me long ago, you wouldn't be going from door to door. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. I hear you knocking, go back where you've been. All right, Jack.
I hear you knocking. That's an old Fats Domino song, all right? Hey, just to let you know, to my left out there, that black stand, those are our schedules, and list all the shows we'll be doing. We've been together, this is our 52nd year together as a rock and roll band, and we're pretty busy. We do 200 nights a year, and it's right over here. When you get a schedule, make sure you turn the other side over, because people don't realize there's two sides to that schedule. I'd like to do a train song, but it's going by too quick. We're going to take it back. Back last September, we had the privilege. We've opened up for about just every Rock and Roll Hall of Fame group there is from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But one of our favorite guys we opened up for a few months ago back, his name was Peter Noon and Herman's Hermits. Who remembers Peter Noon? You remember them? All right. And I asked Peter, what is your favorite? He's from Southampton, England. I asked Peter, I said, what is your favorite group that you enjoyed working with? And he said, well, it was a guy that lived down the street from me, and his name was Jerry Marsden. And the name of his band was Jerry and the Pacemakers. I don't know if you remember that or not. We'll do a song, you never hear other bands do this, why, I don't know. It's one of the prettiest songs in the category of Marsden. But we're going to take it back right now, and probably 1964, something like that. And it's called Ferry Cross the Mersey. goes on day after day. Hearts torn in every way. So ferry across the Mersey, for this land's the place I love. In here I'll stay. People, they rush everywhere. Each with their own secret care. So ferry across the Mersey, for this land's the place I love. In here I'll stay. People around every corner, they seem to smile and say, we don't care what your name is, boy, we'll never turn you away. So I'll continue to say, here I will always stay. So ferry across the Mersey, for this land's the place I love. In here I'll stay. Here I'll stay. Here I'll stay. There, a little bit of British invasion for you. Who remembers Oldies 103 in Boston? Do you remember the Oldies station? Well, we had a 4-year contract with them, and what they would do is they would hire us once every 2 weeks. They'd bring a National Rock and Roll Hall of Fame act to City Hall Plaza or the Esplanade, and they would have us do the opening act. And we were thrilled. We got to open up for groups: Three Dog Night, Grand Funk Railroad, the Young Rascals, so on and so forth. But our favorite group that we had was a group from Idaho. And how many people remember, the older people, Paul Revere and the Raiders? You remember them? All right, you remember them? All right. We're going to take it back now, Paul Revere and the Raiders, a great, great song called Indian Nation.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I need you all to clap along. We'll take you back to about 1964. They took the whole Indian nation, put us on this reservation, took away our way of life, tomahawk and the Bowie knife, took away our native tongue, taught the English to our young. All the beads were made by hand. Nowadays made in Japan. Cherokee people, Cherokee tribe, so proud to live, so proud to die. All right, put those hands together. I need your help. They took the whole Indian nation, locked us on this reservation. Though I wear a shirt and tie, still bought red band deep inside.
Cherokee people, Cherokee tribe, so proud to live, so proud to die. Maybe someday when they've learned, Cherokee Nation will return, will return, will return, will return. A bit of Paul Revere and the Raiders for you. Thank you. 1965, I believe. So, once again, we have the Reminiscents. We're going to have my buddy Jack do a great song now. I need y'all clap your hands now, everybody. You know the guy I've been up in my head. Got to be late at night and more like stay in bed. Change my heart, change my heart, baby, let me free. Change my heart, change my heart, change my heart. But you don't care about me. Change my heart. The diamonds on the back of pillowcase, but you let my love go to it. So much getting let me free. Unchain my heart, unchain my heart, let me go. Unchain my heart, unchain my heart, unchain my heart. If you don't love me no more, unchain my heart. Well, every time I call you on the phone, some other tells me that you're not at home. So unchain my heart, everything that you say. I'm under the spell, I'm under the spell. Like a man in a trance, like a man in a trance. But I know God well, but I know God well.
They're protecting us right now. They're from Wellesley. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. The names that I have only who are performing tonight are Kate Stewart, a vocalist, Griffin Redmond, bass drummer, and Brendan Nicolazzo on drums as well. I have another 18 names, but I'm not going to read them all right now because there's too many. They'll lose 5 minutes of their time. Okay? The Wellesley High School Rock Band will be playing for you for a half an hour. Let's go!
Here and the next day gone. Sometimes you bend, sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. The world outside every darkened door, the blues won't haunt you anymore. Well, the brave are free and lovers so come ride with me to the distant shore. We won't hesitate to break down the garden gate. There's not much time left today. Yeah. And all these towns, it's in my blood and it's all around. I love you now like I loved you when this is the road and these are the hands. From Mozambique to those Memphis nights, the Kibber past the Vancouver lights. Knock me down and back up again. You're in my blood, I'm not a lonely man. There's no road I can hold, on this road, there's no road to be there when the light comes in. Tell me where the flowers, I'll be the highway. Life is a like to take 1 second to congratulate our beautiful bass player, Ben Harris, who just ripped a solo on bass. He's mine! Hey, ready? Are we all ready? Yeah.
the last
She
one.
now is a sophomore at Harvard College. 3 years at Wellesley High School. She sang with in the direction of Kevin McDonald, the Keynote Singers, the Wright Street Singers, and the Overtones. Before that, with Lauren Connors at Wellesley Middle School. In her junior and senior year, the singer had an incredible opportunity to perform with the Keynote Singers as soprano soloist for Video Games Live with the Boston Pops. Continues to sing with Video Games Live with performances to date in Nashville, Tennessee and Springfield, Ohio. Now she is singing with the Harvard University Choir and the Harvard College Opera Society. A 2024 graduate, or 23, 4 graduate of Wellesley High School, let me present to you with a wonderful soprano voice, Luisa Rosano.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes
Bye.